Well, what's up, you? It's Ginger F1 fan or Hampton fan 1705 or however you like to call me, and welcome to my Mammal Reserves India video for Season 2. Sadly, qualifying didn't go well. I forgot to turn track control back on. I had it off earlier, and I just forgot to turn it back on, and that ruined my lap. And I didn't set a time. So now moving on to the race, then
Let's go to the winter.
we have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We all get a decent start. Going into turn 1, Toby swerves to defend from George. Going into turn 1, we all hold our positions. Will I be able to have a look at George going into turn 2? Yes, I will. I'm able to get alongside him, and he has to go wide, and I'm through into second. But I've now got no curves left, and I'm surely going to be a sitting duck down this straight. He's going to my outside, he's having a go, but I have the inside line. I'm trying to make him go the wrong way round, now going down into the hairpin, but he is able to perform the switchback and he takes second. But that was just the start of what was to be an interesting battle between us two. A lap later, not quite got the DRS yet, but I have more straight line speed. And I have a go going into the hairpin, but I think I'm a bit too tentative under braking, because he performs the switchback and he's able to defend the position. So now moving on to lap 3. This time I have the DRS, obviously because it's lap 3 and you get DRS on lap 3, as many of you F1 fans know. And I have a lot more straight on speed and I pass him. But I don't get my braking right going into the hairpin. He forms switchback, he defends the position. And now a lap later, I have the DRS down the straight. So now I go for an overtake going into turn 1 and it succeeded. But I think that was actually a mistake, because he would easily pass. He's now going to easily pass me going into turn 2, and then he'd have the DRS down the straight despite a bit of contact there. So that has taught me a lesson, really, not to go for it going into that turn 1. And I was really thinking I need to clear George soon, because at the same time as trying to pass him, I was losing time to Toby, and that was absolutely crucial for the championship. So I figure I needed to pass him soon. So now, a lap later, I decide not to try to pass him going into turn 1. And he goes wide, and I'd lose a lot of time if I didn't pass him, so I decided to pass him. I thought I would have had the DRS going into the detecting point, so that's why I chose turn 2. But I had done it too early, because then I'd realised he'd have the DRS, and he'd easily pass it. He'd easily pass me. So now I was realising at this time I needed to pass him soon. I went for an overtake going into the hairpin, but he'd hold the outside, and then he'd defend the position going into this corner. So I did figure I do need to pass him soon. So now moving on to the next lap, I actually decided not to use DRS down the straight, so I don't pass him until the hairpin, because then if I did pass him going into turn 1, then I would have been an absolute sitting duck down the straight. He would have easily passed me. But Toby actually pitted at the end of this lap, so I realised now was the time I really needed to make the pass. So I had the DRS down the straight, and as a result of that straight line speed boost, I was able to get in the slipstream, and I was able to easily pass him. But he'd again formed the switchback, and I have no curse, so I thought he was going to easily pass me at this point. But I stayed alongside him, going into this corner. He saw me coming, which was good driving from him, and he eventually had to yield. So I was pretty relieved at this point, because I was really relieved that I'd finally passed him. I was no longer losing time. So So now I was starting to think about my strategy. I was meant to pit this lap, but I decided maybe I could go a few more laps, because then my prime tires would be a few laps newer than Toby's. So I pitted in on lap 9 and set fastest laps, which is what I needed to do. The question was, had I done enough? So I pitted, had no damage, so it could be a quick stop. I thought it was going to be pretty close between me and Toby, but the gap would be about 2 seconds. But I thought if Toby's tyres were older, then I could chase him. So at this point I was thinking the chase for the win was on, but it was just too little too late. There's not enough laps. I simply just ran out of laps. But I was still pleased with second. It could have been worse, to be honest. And I believe that I got driver of the week, and I also got fastest lap. So that's reduced the loss to Toby to 3 points. So now the gap in the championship, it was 10 points, so now I only lost 3 points from this race, so now the gap is 13 points to Toby. And with and before this race I thought my championship chances were pretty much over, but now I'm only 13 points and second in the standings. I'm actually starting to think that the championship is now a realistic possibility. Obviously TRL Ellis was absent today, so he's now 24 points behind. I'm not sure whether he's still in the fight, but I was pretty pleased with today because now I'm back in the championship fight. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.